Hi, kids, it's Pastor Sam. I have a story for you. Naaman was a very important man in a very important army in a very important country. So you see, he was very, very, very important. But Naaman was sick. He had leprosy, which is a nasty thing that stops you from feeling anything, and bits of you fall off without you noticing. It might sound funny, but Naaman wasn't laughing. There was no cure, and it never went away, and in the end, it killed you. Naaman needed help. Now, there was a little slave girl who worked for Naaman's wife, and she knew someone who could help him. But Naaman was her enemy. He had led an army raid on her home in Israel and had carried her off to Syria. But instead of hating him, which is what you would expect, she loved him. Instead of hurting him back, she forgave him. And she had the idea and said, I want Naaman to get well. There's a man in Israel called Elisha who can heal him. Well, I'll go, Naaman said. So he loaded up his wagons and put on his flashing armor. I'll go to the palace, because that's where someone important like me gets healed. So he hurried off to Israel and went straight to the king. My healing, please, he announced. I can do lots of things, the king replied, but only God can heal. Just then, a message from Elisha arrived. Send Naaman here, it read. So Naaman hurried off to Elisha's house. But Elisha didn't even come out to greet him. He just sent a servant instead. Doesn't Elisha realize who I am? Naaman thought. Well, what the servant said next made him even angrier. Wash in there, he said. Just wash? Naaman said. In that stinky river? He looked around to see if this was some kind of joke. It wasn't. Any person can wash in a river, he thought. I am Naaman. I am important. I should do something important so that God will heal me. And he rode off in a rage. Of course, you and I know that that is not how God does things. God knew that Naaman was even sicker on the inside than he was on the outside. Naaman was proud. He thought he didn't need God. His heart didn't work properly. It couldn't feel anything. You see, Naaman had leprosy of the heart. And God was not only going to heal Naaman's skin, but God was going to heal his pride. So Naaman finally agreed to wash in the Jordan River 7 times. And instantly, his skin became smooth like a baby. God healed him. Well, Naaman wanted to pay Elisha. God healed you. You can't pay, Elisha said. It's free. And so it was that a very sick man was healed, all because of a little servant girl who forgave him. God knew sin was like leprosy. It stopped people's hearts from working properly, and in the end, it would kill them. And years later, God sent another servant to forgive everyone and to heal the terrible sickness in their hearts. And that is Jesus. Remember, God loves you, and you are a blessing.